Talk football, volleyball, cross country, and swimming here in just a little bit. Ryan Steinkamp waiting outside the studio to talk to us. Craig Rowedder also going to join us. We'll also talk to Riley Ludwig, Rusty Wintermote, Thomas Nelson, and Deb Danner. But we're going to start with last night's scoreboard. Class 3A District 1. It was Carroll slipping to 1-1 on the season. They led at halftime, but fall to Gilbert 36-18. Central Line, Georgia Little Rock down to MOC Floyd Valley 27-14. It was Boyden Hull Rock Valley over West Sioux 28-9. Bishop Heelan cruises past Council Bluffs Abraham Lincoln 40-6. Sergeant Bluff Luton down Sioux City East 21-10. And Spirit Lake over Sioux Center 42-6. Class 2A District 8, Kuemper now 1-1 on the year. They blast Underwood, dominating the second half for a 49-28 win. Nevada defeated Roland Sterry 20-14. It was Van Meter over Des Moines Christian 24-0. East Marshall topped Sadell 40-21. Greene County over Perry 36-7, and Southeast Valley flattens Eagle Grove 64-0. Class 1A District 2, East Sac falls to OABCIG 48-14. Raiders fall to 0-2 on the year. Emmetsburg over Esterville Lincoln Central 34-0. Manson Northwest Webster tops Ogden 20-8. It was Okoboji area over Pocahontas area 41-6, and Cherokee tops Sioux Central Sioux Rapids 31-12. Class A District 7, South Central Calhoun 2-0 on the year. They beat up on Southwest Valley 43-6. ICAM Manning also 2-0. They knock off Panorama 20-0. It was ACGC over Earlham 28-21, and AHST of Oka Walnut Downs Riverside 42-22. 8-man at District 1. Glidden Ralston now 1-1 on the year. Arweeva falls to 1-1 as the Wildcats take control in the second half. They go on to a 34-15 victory. It was St. Mary's of Remsen over Siouxland Christian 48-6. Woodbine knocks off Booyer Valley 48-12, and New Fonda cruises past West Harrison 64-8. 8-man District 9, Audubon awfully impressive. They beat Colonesco 44-8. They're 2-0 on the year. Kunai was Baird up to 1-1 on the year. They beat Baxter 28-20, and again it was St. Edmund beating Collins Maxwell by a final of 70-14. Don't forget our Player of the Game banners up on the Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Our audio from our radio broadcast last night also podcast to the website at sports.1380kcim.com. You can rewatch the Carroll Gilbert game on our CB Sports Network YouTube channel from last night's video broadcast. We'll have game recaps along with the scores and stats from Friday night's football and also today's volleyball coming up for you on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report at sports.1380kcim.com. That'll be later on this weekend. Casey and I will probably sit down and type those up Saturday night into Sunday. And the New Way Ford and New Way Auto Group scoreboard show, that is podcasted on the website. You can also check out the New Way Auto Group scoreboard page. It's a live updated page on Friday nights. It updates. We got Mason Nealon sitting in here typing in the scores as they come in, and he updates the website. You can find all of our district scores there in case you missed it. And again, those are updated throughout the games on Friday night, so just keep refreshing that page. Also, it's a full state scoreboard page at the bottom of all of the local districts, and we update that every Friday night as well. So check that out on, again, the website at sports.1380kcim.com. We'll step away. Kuemper got a big win in football last night. We'll talk to Ryan Steinkamp about that when we come back on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
When you need a quick meal or one on the go, your Carroll Pizza Ranch has great deals for carry-out and delivery. Order online and get 8 pizzas of Country's Best Chicken with potato wedges for only $20. How about 2 large pizzas for $25? Or get 2 medium single-topping pizzas, cheesy ranch sticks, and a cactus bread for just $20. Check out these deals and more at pizzaranch.com today and order hot and fresh. Pizza Ranch, located off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
Back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show, talking with a very happy Kuemper head football coach right now in Ryan Steinkamp. The Knights go down to Underwood and cruise to a 49-28 victory, dominant on both sides of the football. Coach, appreciate you joining us. Congrats on a huge win.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you having me.
You bet, Coach. You guys go down there. You come off a tough loss last week. They came off a tough loss to Van Meter. Both you guys kind of needed this game, and it sounded like your guys were pretty focused from the start.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a good football game. A little bit back and forth at first, I think. One of the biggest coaching stuff from last week to this week is everybody kind of just, we found our identity a little bit, found our roles. Everybody kind of understood their assignments a little bit better and stuff. So, yeah, it's just an overall great team victory, all three levels of offense, defense, special teams.
You said that this game was kind of back and forth at the beginning. I know Sean Healy put you up a 1-0. You get up 21-14 headed into the halftime. What was clicking offensively?
A lot of little things. We were able to run the ball. O-line improved tremendously from last week to this week. So shout out to those guys up front. We were getting 3, 4, 5 yards. And then I think probably the biggest difference was, from week 1 to week 2 was just, completing those money downs. Third down, I think we scored on a couple. We scored on a fourth down type deal. Like just, being able to do those things and having confidence in the kids and them answering is just a huge boost for us.
Defensively, you give up 14 in that first half. How did the defense play? What adjustments did you make to really shut them down until late in the fourth quarter?
They were. Our run defense was doing pretty good too. They started taking they had some mismatches. They're spreading us out too, got some man coverage. So we kind of just had to switch to the linebackers, helping out a little bit more in the pass. And they caught us again in one mistake. But other than that, the kids did a great job adjusting. It's great seeing our DBs fly around and make plays in the secondary.
What, 4 or 5 interceptions tonight? Talk about the secondary and what they did so well.
We did 4. Yeah. Honestly, it was all 3 levels. Where D-line did a great job. Linebackers did a great job. D-line did a great job getting pressure. Linebackers were collisioning, and then the secondary just did a good job of communicating, letting the play develop, and then just jumping in. Those picks are just huge boost and give us great field positions, and good defense leads offense, and that just really helped us play team ball.
Spread out between a lot of guys on the picks, or I thought I heard Nick and Doug talking. Somebody almost had 3 on the night.
Yeah, I think Griffin Glenn stepped in, did a great job, had 2. And then Braxton Ami made a big athletic play where he had a great return. Where it was one of those little everybody turns around blocking, and he went across field and he got down to the 1. So we gave him some jokes about that not getting in there. But it was just a great play. He made a great play on the ball and ran around. And then Carson Caney had one, I think, in the first half where he just made a great play on the ball too. And so yeah, it was just good defense that we talk about turnovers a lot, winning that turnover margin. And it definitely helped us be successful. You guys score on the opening drive of the second half. How huge was that to get that momentum right away, and how did that drive happen? Honestly, I give a lot of credit to the offensive coaches. They kind of put a game plan about, we think we could run the ball here or there, a few more motions and whatnot. And I don't think we passed the ball that entire drive, just getting 3, 4, 5 yards and ripping off a couple 10-yarders. So it was just a great drive because, once you can start running the ball, other things open up. What worked in the run game on that drive, or were you back talking to the defense at that time? I was still kind of focusing on defense a little bit too. I know, I kind of let them do their thing a lot, but overall, I think we just kind of changed up a couple run blocking schemes. So it definitely started the O lineman up front. Up 42-20 at the end of the third quarter. Did you feel in control at that point? Yeah. I mean, I just felt like things were in the right way, but me, I asked them more than what's the score end of the third. They said 0-0. I'm like, let's go win this fourth quarter. So I wouldn't say in control, but we definitely knew we had some momentum, and we did not want to let them back in. It was one of those things where, we know Underwood, we played them the last 4 years, and they've had our number, so I definitely didn't feel comfortable, but it more felt like, hey, we got to stay on it. And I think that's when we got interception and another score, and that's when we could feel the momentum staying in our direction. I know they scored late, your backups in. I think they still had quite a few, if not all of the starters in offensively. They then go for the onside kick and get it. I know there was just, minute and a half or something like that left in the ballgame, but starters went back in for you. You wanted to close the door at that point. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those deals where it wasn't fair to some of the other guys. JV guys, I want to give them time and rest, but it wasn't fair putting them in that position and going against, their starters and stuff like that too. So, just when the varsity guys did a great job playing all game too, so it's kind of out there to close the deal. And I think they held them on fourth down. Things don't get any easier for you next week. What do you take away from tonight, or last night, I should say, that you think can help you with that game against AHST of Oka Walnut coming up next Friday? It's just, the week to week, I stay consistent too. I know I'm really proud of the way our guys answered and bounced back, and just really proud of the coaches and kids for being able to adapt. We went in there with the game plan tonight too. We had to adjust on the fly, and the kids responded, and it's just great having the support of the fans out there too. We had a great crowd down there. I know you probably haven't watched film on them yet, but what do you remember from last year with the Vikings? Really well coached, really athletic team, dynamic. They spread out, do all kinds of different things, and so it's definitely a game. We're not going to enjoy this one very long and get to work on them.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you and talk to you again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Head coach Ryan Steinkamp again with the Kuemper Knights. They win 49-28 down at Underwood on Friday night. Back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Craig Rowedder set to join us next.
We've got Barrett in from Flooring America. And Barrett, we are going to talk about the floors that are going to help you through life's messy moments. We know spills happen, and you've got floors that can hold up to it.
Spills are just a way of life for us, it seems like. Whether your 2-year-old is finger painting a bottle of Desitin on the carpet, or you've had a few too many Pepsis after July 4th, we're going to take care of you, because spills always happen, and we're here for them. We got great flooring for it. We have waterproof flooring, we have spill-proof, we have scotch-proof. Our ceramic tile is spill-proof. Our luxury vinyl planks are waterproof. Our sheet vinyl is also extremely economical and very easy to clean.
For those spills in life's messy moments, Barrett and the crew at Flooring America can help you get that perfect floor in your home to stand up to those messy moments. And Barrett, right now is the time to shop.
Absolutely. We have tremendous deals. We got 0% financing. We have all kinds of products. We have new products coming in for the fall. Come on out.
Flooring America, 1318 Highway 30 West in Carroll.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Again, 1380 AM, 95.1 FM, KCIM. Jeff Blankman talking Carroll High football right now. Joining us is head coach Craig Rowedder. The Tigers last night battled hard against Gilbert, but end up a little bit short. Coach, appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday morning.
You bet, Jeff. And as always, thanks for the coverage. Appreciate it.
You bet, Coach. Outstanding first half for you guys last night. Not that you didn't play well in the second half, but up 18-15. And it sounded like you guys were able to find some ways to be able to move the football pretty well.
Yeah, we did a nice job, I thought, of kind of mixing it up a little more. Last week against Greene County, we kind of just decided we're going to run the ball, and that's it. And we Gilbert had some really good linebackers, so we did mix it up pretty nice and chewed up some clock just to keep them off the field. But we were able to hit a quick one early just off of just to kind of see what they were doing on our base run plays, and then hit Reese Zigman on a little RPO, little slant. Once he got a step on his kid, he was off to the races. And that was kind of the theme. We kind of moved Reese around quite a bit last night just to try to get him the ball in different spots. And but I thought overall we moved the ball pretty well, and especially when we're playing a team like Gilbert, I thought we did a nice job controlling the clock. Able to win the line of scrimmage then in the first half? Yeah, we had to kind of pick and choose a little bit. As far as the run game goes, we ran the ball fine, and probably should have leaned on that a little bit more again in the second half. That's the good thing about hindsight. It's always 20/20 on that one. But no, I thought we did okay up front. Initially, we just had to get a feel for how they were, going to line up to our tight end and just different formations that way. But I thought we did a nice job up front, and especially there was a couple. They had a blitz a couple times on some pass downs. Otherwise, the pass protection, was solid all night too. They didn't ever get to the quarterback with just four guys rushing. Coach, how did you feel like you give up 15, but, the Hawthorne kid, a lot of people were talking about him coming in. How did you feel like you guys defended them in the first half? Yeah, we weren't bashful about what we put 6 defensive linemen on the field, and, we were going to make them try to beat us by throwing the ball or hit, they had to hit the outside edges. And so I thought up front, we did a really good job as far as not letting them, kind of hammer Hawthorne right up the gut. We had a couple Miles Putin's just a sophomore. He had to get in there, and Tanner Hahn was another one that didn't play a whole lot last week on Friday in Jefferson, but with the scheme and the game plan this week, they started. So it was good for some of those guys to get some some young guys some experience, and we had to have a couple of guys rotate in when Caden Peterson got banged up a little bit. So then you had Michael Rowedder playing 3 quarters at Mike linebacker, and we really have that in the game plan on Thursday coming in anyway.
Coach, how did he play there?
Good. He, I thought as far as being a little bit undersized, especially against, I guess the advice I gave him as dad and coach was, if that Hawthorne kid's running at you, you better get low, because otherwise you'll be a bug on the windshield if you don't. So, no, I thought Michael, both games, I guess, so far this year, has known what he's doing, knows his job, and and unfortunately we'd like to keep Caden out there, but it's nice to know that there is a little depth there if we do get in some, trouble as far as injuries go.
Coach, did Gilbert make changes in the second half, or how did they become successful offensively?
Yeah, I don't know how much truly changed, but they just really started attacking the edges, a little bit more option and counter and toss. Like I said, we were pretty stout on Hawthorne. Anything inside the tackle wasn't happening just by our alignment. I think that was ultimately what kind of got us. I think we wore down just a little bit defensively up front, and then we weren't quite fast enough after some fatigue set in to get to the edge. And we were asking a lot out of our two inside linebackers, kind of having to play sideline to sideline. So, they didn't hurt us in the passing game, didn't hurt us really right at the point of attack, but just kind of off the edge, which it is what it is. You got to kind of pick your poison, and so we knew that coming in, and that's as a good team does. I mean, they're not ranked in Class 4A for nothing, especially with the Hawthorne kids. So they adjusted, and we just couldn't quite get to those edges.
Coach, sounds like momentum turned in this game in the second half on kind of a funky play for your offense.
Yeah, we had. I'd never quite seen the. We had a little issue on the snap, and the ball kind of stood right between the legs of our quarterback, and we thought it went. He thought it went, shooting by, so he was looking behind him, but it was still kind of stayed put right in the middle. And right before that, we had kind of got a little momentum. I think we hit Owen Clucky on a nice sideline route, and we were driving. We were still ahead by 3 at that point. So ifs and buts or candy and nuts, but that it would have been woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it would have been interesting if had we had a little momentum or had been able to score there. Just kind of what the outcome, but it is what it is. It's part of the game, though, and we got to get a little bit better on not turning the ball over.
Coach, I know a loss tonight, but it sounds like you guys come out of this game with some positives heading into the home game next week with Dennis and Schleswig.
Yeah, I think definitely. We showed that we can play physical football, which we were pretty confident that we could. But we won't see a running attack like that the rest of the year outside of maybe Heelan. Would kind of maybe be comparable, but again, they don't have that I know of, unless they brought one or bring one in here in a couple of weeks. I don't think they have a 6'2", 230 guy that runs 10.9 in the 100. So, I think you never want to lose. You always, we're all competitive, and our guys, took the loss hard. But I told them one game, especially in the non-district part of the season, against a really good team, it's not going to make or break the season. So we'll watch some film, make some adjustments, move some personnel around, and I think we'll have some answers, and I think we'll be ready to go for Dennis. What are you looking at with them? To be 100% honest, I'm not. I haven't had time to even look at it. I think this might be the first time since I've been alive that there's not a Weavers on the roster that I know of. I've made that comment before where tough to throw a rock in Crawford County and not hit a Weavers. So, I think they'll have a new quarterback from a year ago. They really torched us kind of in the passing game a year ago, and so we'll have to make sure our guys are ready to go for that. But to be 100% honest, I'm not really sure and I'm not even sure how. I forgot to look how they did last night against Harlan, so I'm guessing Harlan won that one. But I'll have to get to watching some film here later this morning, and we'll find out from there.
Well, Coach, as always, appreciate the time. Best of luck coming up, and looking forward to catching up with you again next week.
You bet, Jeff. Always appreciate all the coverage you guys give us, and go Tigers.
Head coach Craig Rowedder again joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Back right after this on KCIM.
When you need a quick meal or one on the go, your Carroll Pizza Ranch has great deals for carry-out and delivery. Order online and get 8 pizzas of country's best chicken with potato wedges for only $20. How about 2 large pizzas for $25? Or get 2 medium single-topping pizzas, cheesy ranch sticks, and a cactus bread for just $20. Check out these deals and more at pizzaranch.com today and order hot and fresh. Pizza Ranch, located off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
We're back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, talking Carroll Tiger volleyball right now. Head coach Riley Ludwig is joining us. And, Coach, as always, good to catch up with you.
Yes, nice talking to you.
You bet, Coach. We're talking early in this morning here, and you can tell you've already got energy. You're ready to roll. So what's it been like this last week? You guys come off a great weekend last weekend, going 5-1 down at the Harlan tournament. Picked up a really nice win over Trainer, nice win over St. Albert, beat Harlan, also Underwood and Missouri Valley. Then you came home after a tough loss to Glenwood, and your only loss down there. You opened up the conference at home the other night with the winner set and kind of let one slip through the fingers at Tips a little bit. So what's the attitude? What's everything been like here these last few days?
We're just working on getting back to where we were on Saturday. They played so well together, worked as a team, and they looked like one. And on Tuesday, we just had one of those nights where things were not coming together. So really focusing on getting back to where we were and figuring out the mental piece of it and making sure that we don't let something like that happen again.
What stood out for you about Saturday? What went so well that you guys went down there, took second place at a really tough tournament?
There was so much excitement and a lot less nerves. You could tell that they just didn't really know what to do. They were really frazzled with the noise in the gym and all of that. And I think on Saturday it was more of just we're here to play and just show everybody what we worked so hard for. You
started off with the matchup against Missouri Valley. How nice was it to kind of get off to that quick start and maybe set the tempo for the rest of the day?
Yeah, it definitely did set up the rest of the day for us. And having that win and feeling the success right away was something that we definitely needed, the confidence boost. And then we played Glenwood in it and we lost, but still having that first game to look back on. And it was a good loss against Glenwood, but starting off like that really gave us the confidence we need to let us see what we are capable of doing.
And I know you dropped that second set to Glenwood, but sounds like you had some chances up in that one, and you never know. You win that one, and all of a sudden you extend it to third. What could happen?
Right. Yeah. No, they played well. It was a good loss. It was 21-10, and then it was 21-17 in the second one, and it was close. They played well.
Take me through that win over Trainer. You dropped the first set 21-5, and then come back to win the next two. What kind of switch for you guys after that first set?
Just the mentality of we're not letting balls drop. We have to cut out our errors, and we can't make to win the game. We weren't really doing the basics and just having the talk of like, all right, we're going to forget about that, and we have 2 more sets to play. And I was really impressed with their mentality with that because, not many teams can do that, come back after a loss like that.
You had 3 different girls with 24 kills or more, led by Caitlin Hayden with 32, Olivia Rowedder with 29, and then Amanda Wardell with 24. How did you feel like overall as a team you swung on Saturday?
Oh, amazing. I mean, it was kill after kill after kill and block after block, and our passing was the thing that allowed us to be able to do that, though. If our passes are there, our offense is absolutely awesome. Anybody really stand out passing-wise, or was it a total group effort? Well, Marison, of course. She's all over the place, and she can get some of those serves up just about perfect to Emily. But all of them really did play well. They were all over the floor on defense. and just really doing their job.
You mentioned Emily Puck, your setter this year. That had to have been her first start at the varsity level Saturday. How were you able to kind of help her maybe calm down a little bit, because it looks like she sat really well?
Yeah, I know there's been some days after practice where her brain just hurts thinking through the offense and thinking through all of her options, just because we do have so many, especially with Caitlin coming out of the back row and being able to swing back there. But just talking her through decisions and what might have been a better decision, why we're making those decisions, and then just really pushing her to use her footwork and get her hands there. When she sets that ball, it's pretty, and they can do whatever they want with it, but we got to get her hands there.
Coach, you mentioned there wasn't not a lot of nerves. There was more excitement. I thought Tuesday there might have been some nerves. First home match of the year. You guys opened up the conference. You let two really close sets kind of slip away late in the sets of 1 and 2, losing 25-20 and then 25-21. Before third set, you fell down early and then tried to rally late. But what did you take away from Tuesday as you've had time to sit back and reflect on that one?
We made a lot of mistakes, and we just weren't thinking through the game. We were reacting and just trying to stop them instead of control what our side looked like and what we were doing. Had a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors, and their passing struggled. So we've been doing a lot of passing the past few days. Has that been the biggest focus of practice since Tuesday? Yes. Yeah. Serve, receive, defense, all of that. Coach, you didn't have Olivia Rowedder on Tuesday. I know I talked to you a little bit about it in the postgame the other night, but how much do you think that impacted the team overall? Just with her presence, just calms. It's so calming. She's such a good leader. She leads by example, and her presence would have changed just the entire court. Kyra did an amazing job. She totally stepped up, but Olivia just has that leadership and that calmness to her that I think would have calmed everybody down a little bit. Coach, you're back on the road now. Tuesday, you head over to ADM, another conference matchup. They're sitting 3-3 right now as you and I talk overall, and haven't played a conference matchup. Have you had a chance to peek at them yet, or has it just been kind of focused on yourself this week? I've looked at some of their stuff. That's definitely going to be a big focus this weekend. But looking at stats, if we cut out some of our errors, a lot of our errors, we should be able to come away from that on the upside, hopefully. Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all your time. Enjoy your day and the rest of your weekend, and best of luck coming up Tuesday. We'll talk to you again next week. All right, thank you. You bet. Head coach Riley Ludwig again with the Carroll Tigers. We're back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
If you are shopping for the cheapest insurance, you're shopping for the wrong thing. After all, insurance coverage is really just a promise. And why would anyone want a cheap promise? And you've worked hard for what you have. Protect your home or business with a promise from a company and agency you can trust. Find out more about West Bend Insurance and the silver lining. Contact Mid-Iowa Insurance in Carroll today, 792-4324, or at midiowateam.com.
Back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show, talking Kuemper volleyball right now with the Kuemper Knights. They are on a roll to start the season, undefeated right now, 11-0 after a 2-1 victory over Roland Story in a sweep of 4 matches at home on Tuesday night. Coach, as always, is head coach Rusty Wintermote joining us. Appreciate you joining us here today.
Well, again, another beautiful morning, but it's a Saturday without volleyball, and I get a chance to go spend some time with some quality people in the family, and hopefully you'll have a blessed day, and I'll get ready for some Nebraska and Colorado football for tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'll be in volleyball later this morning up at South Central Calhoun for a while, but I'll certainly be home to watch the Huskers. But let's talk Kuemper volleyball. You guys had the weekend off last weekend, so Tuesday night you hosted Greene County, Ames, Ogden, and Roland Story. Picked up 3 sweeps and a 2-1 victory over Roland Story, who came in ranked. I know a little bit of a slow start against Greene County, and then once things got rolling, it seemed like they kind of got rolling.
It did, but the rolling starts with, it felt like we were in mud. we weren't diving after balls. We weren't committing to the defensive side, and we just thought we could win it offensively, which we had to stop and remind ourselves what we're made of. But once we figured out, getting our server seat taken care of, and setters were actually, giving a hitter a chance to do something with it. And then when we started digging balls, then we started to cause some problems for Greene County in that area. But Greene County had a couple of middles that challenged us. They were there on the blocks, and we just had to adjust to making Brianna and Zoe and Addie move instead of running straight at the center and running in the middle. We had to make them run slides and off the net and gap shots. And once they started to do that, Greene County, they're big, but they weren't able to keep up with the quickness of the game when it came down to that. And then, then we step into Ames, which I knew, just visiting with some coaches that had played them already, that they were much improved from last year. And so I knew we'd have some battle because they have one big girl, but they run a faster offense than we do. And they had a quicker swing. And it took us a little bit. I think we fell down big to them in the first game. And all I had to do was call timeout and challenge my passers and get Brianna and Kaylee on the same page as to support, and Brooke to support Elsa and Carson. And boy, I tell you what, once they made that huge comeback against Ames, and set two was just us forcing our will and making them come to us, and the girls dominated in that one. And then we played Ogden, and Ogden is really in rebuild mode. They struggled, and but we didn't play down in a sense, but we just challenged them with a lot more aggressive serve, and they weren't able to keep up with it. But so those were the first three games. It just took us a while to get out of the mud. It felt like we weren't moving, we weren't diving, we weren't sacrificing, we weren't keeping the ball at the floor. And that was weird and disappointing. But once they figured it out, it led into them having a really good night to end the night as well.
Coach, I think I mentioned earlier in the interview that you didn't have anything last Saturday. You did. You were up at Humboldt and picked up some wins there as well, winning that tournament, knocking off a South Hardin team that came in a rank. So that was a team you wanted a chance at. How did you feel like things went last Saturday?
What helped us this year was that we didn't see them right away in game one or match one, and we got to start out with Fort Dodge and get some things smoothed out or take the wrinkles out and make sure our servers see, because we knew they would service, as Lonnie Miller would always call it, laser shots, and so we always use that term with the kids, and sure enough, they came out with some laser shots, South Hardin did, and we were better prepared for it. And I think, again, being match two allowed us to get some swings in, allowed us to get some rhythm going. And game one was really back and forth with them, but we knew it would be because they returned a lot of kids, and they were rated in the top, I think, 6 or 7 in 2A. And they were quick on the outsides and had a really nice back row attack, and took us a little bit to time that because it was a faster swing than we're used to from a back row attack. But they also had 2 outsides that there were 2 of them that just almost could jump over our blocks, and we had to time those and just get touches on them. So defensively was one of our better games for a while. Set 1 was close until the very end, and we kind of pulled away. And then set 2, we were really kind of in control, but I think the girls rose to the occasion because they knew they were going to have to because of the last several years. And also, too, the fact that I said, no, this is our only shot at them because we won't see them later. So let's just go out and establish what we want to do, take care of business with them, and come out with a victory so that we don't have to worry about not seeing them again later and trying to rebound. And so we started quicker, so I think that's what helped with playing a match before that as well.
Coach, you're sitting right now undefeated 11-0 on the season. What's been the most impressive thing you've seen from this group so far?
Well, the 2 things. the grittiness of the kids, but then just the desire defensively. Offense, we have some talented kids, and they'll get there. But I think the most pleased I am is that when I get to watch them dive out to the floor, keep the ball at the floor, and, still establishing that block. And, as Boz put it, she feels like defensively we're ahead of where we were last year. And again, if we're ahead of last year, we throw 2 freshmen in there, 2 sophomores with continuing time, and then we allow Elsa once in a while to play front row and try and use her blocking and hitting, and Carson once in a while. To throw new defensive players in there and expect them to rise to what we've been able to do when we had experience has been the most pleasant. Everybody always wants to see offense, but I'm just very pleased with our defensive effort, especially the idea that when you can see kids flying around and diving, and it's not Kaylee Simons, it's Brianna Whitrock and Brooke Roy and Elsa and Carson. They're bleeding and feeding off of each other, and that is so much fun to watch. And if you're a fan of volleyball, to see kids sacrifice themselves and give to the rest of the body on their team, it's just kids want to. If they're going to do that, I've got to do that. So defensive effort has been the most pleasing part of the beginning of the season for this group.
Coach, you're back in action coming up on Tuesday. Triangular Hawkeye 10. You go down to Clarinda, take on Clarinda and Denison Schleswig. What are you looking at there?
Well, Denison started out 4-0, and we'll play them, I think, first in the night. We'll play them at 6. They're 4-1 now. I think they lost to Harlan last night, or on what's today, Saturday. They lost Thursday night to Harlan, and but they've improved dramatically in the setting and the serve receive. So what I'm expecting is that we're going to have to challenge them with some seam shots on our serves, and then make sure that our timing on our block. They're not as fast of hitting team, but they're going to keep it, and that's another one. They've kept it in play in the videos I've watched. But then we run into a buzzsaw in Clarinda. Clarinda, I think, is now 3-1 or 4-1. They lost also on Thursday night to Lewis Central, but the scores were close. And according to the interview I listened for Lewis Central, Clarinda lost 3-0 to Harlan or to Lewis Central. But according to the report, according to Jim, their coach, is that or Mike, sorry, they were down in each set and had to come back and win.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. Congrats on a fantastic start. Enjoy time with the family coming up this weekend, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week.
I will. I'm looking forward to your report from the tournament there at South Central Calhoun. See how teams did up there this weekend. Wish them a lot of luck as well, too. But you have a great weekend. Stay safe, and go Huskers.
You bet. Go Big Red. Head coach again, Rusty Wintermote, with the Kuemper Knights volleyball team. Back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaching Show coming up here on KCIM.
When you need a quick meal or one on the go, your Carroll Pizza Ranch has great deals for carry-out and delivery. Order online and get 8 pizzas of Country's Best Chicken with potato wedges for only $20. How about 2 large pizzas for $25? Or get 2 medium single-topping pizzas, cheesy ranch sticks, and a cactus bread for just $20. Check out these deals and more at pizzaranch.com today and order hot and fresh. Pizza Ranch, located off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
We're back here rolling on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. We're going to talk Kuemper cross country right now. Head coach Thomas Nelson joining us tonight. He's had a nice, strong week with a couple of meets since the last time we talked. Coach, as always, appreciate you joining us, and thanks for coming on today.
It is always great to be here.
You bet, Coach, and I know you're pretty excited. You guys got the season underway. You knew you'd be challenged down at Glenwood last Saturday. Had a really good meet. Boys, I think, were 3rd overall. And then you went up to Spirit Lake to maybe even a tougher field on Thursday and had a pretty strong showing there. Let's start with the boys. Dayton Wiederin, we talked about him in the preseason. He's off to a terrific start, as are some of the other guys.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the first week for the boys. Our goal was to get out against really good competition in both at Glenwood and Okoboji Spirit Lake. That's what we found. Weeds has really taken a big jump his junior year. He put a lot of work in for it, and to start off the season with 2 top 10 finishes is awesome. And not only were they top 10 finishes, but he got a PR in Glenwood, and then at Okoboji, it's the second best time he's ever run. So he's just off to a phenomenal start and is really motivated to keep it going. So very happy with him. Fletch, Jacob, Thomas, are all putting the work that we were hoping they would. They had pretty good races at Glenwood, which is what allowed us to get that third place spot. And Jacob specifically at Okoboji, he cut about a minute off his Glenwood time, and I think he's about in the best shape he's been at this point in the year. So that's a really positive thing for our team. And then Evan Schaefer also had a really big week. He ran his first meet ever at Glenwood, learned from it, was able to cut about a minute off for us at Okoboji. And I thought that was really beneficial for our team.
Coach, what do you think was the biggest difference between that first meet to then up to Thursday at Okoboji?
I think just learning kind of what your body can handle, and cross-country races are a unique thing. If you haven't done it before, there's a lot of people. You can get tripped up. There are moments in the race where all of a sudden something starts hurting, and if you keep running through it, sometimes it feels better and sometimes it doesn't. And I just think he kind of realized how tough he needs to be, and then also like what a first mile pace is going to feel like. And we did some pace work throughout the week that kind of helped with that. Another kid who ran JV for us, Wyatt Winchell, he's had 2 fantastic races. He was able to cut about a minute off his Glenwood time at Okoboji. It's the same thing. It was Glenwood was his first race. He finished that and said, I could have done this, and this differently. Did it and was able to put a really good time down. So happy to see the new guys participating and really helping our team out.
And, Coach, you're really excited. We talked in the preseason about the depth of this team. It's playing out that well. So there's going to be battles all year long on the boys' side, the way it looks.
Yeah, the boys and girls, and we'll talk about them, a little later here. The battles for the 5th, 6th, and 7th spot, it's going to fluctuate. And I call them battles, but to be fair, all those kids who are competing for those spots are also supportive of each other. They're all happy when the other one PRs, even if it means they beat them that race. And I was really happy to see Wyatt got a PR, and he's running the JV race, and our back 3 guys on varsity, he's coming for their spot, but they're all there at the end of the race to celebrate his achievement. And I just thought that was cool. And so, him, Cohen Stipa, who got a PR last night, Charlie Oliver, they're all going to be between those 5, 6, 7, and then first and second JV guys. And that's what's going to make our team better, though. And they're going to start to push our top varsity guys, too, which is really exciting.
Coach, you mentioned we'd get to the girls. Let's talk about them right now. Again, they were at Glenwood Saturday, then up at Spirit Lake on Thursday. Casey Wiederin has led you both at times and is really running well and stuff. But you said Shelby Graving also is really performing well.
Yeah, Casey has been our top runner in both races, 2 top 30 finishes, 27 and 23rd at 2 really competitive meets. And she's just done a really good job. And she's done a really good job being a leader at practice too, ever since the season started. She just goes about things in a very work-like manner, always has a positive attitude, and I'm really happy to see how well she's doing to start the season. Shelby PR'd the first meet and then ran another PR the second meet. Shelby's been a really good runner for us the last couple of years, cross country and track. And I think all that work is starting to really kind of pay off, and really happy to see how consistent she is this year. Sometimes last year there'd be big fluctuations, but so far she's just been right on target each time, which is similar. And I got to give a shout out to Maddie Segabart because she cut about 2 minutes off her best time the first meet of the year, and then followed it up with pretty much the same time the second meet. And I think, as we talked about last week, that goes back to track season, all those girls working together and seeing improvement. And Addie Davis was right with those two, just about 2 seconds behind Maddie at Okoboji. So really happy with what they've done. And we're a young team on the girls' side. And that's something that we're really excited about. We've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores running, which means we've got a lot of room for growth as the season goes.
Coach, you mentioned Madeline cutting 2 minutes off. That's a lot of time. That means she had to have put in a lot of work during the off season to come in that prepared and ready to go.
I think she put in more work than she's done in the past, and her mentality is just very different. She's now running to compete, where sometimes the past years I think she was out to have fun, and that's fantastic. This year, when she gets to race, she's ready to go, and out there doing her absolute best every time, which is awesome to have.
Depth-wise, starting to develop some of that on the girls' side as well?
Yep, lots of, like I mentioned, some freshmen and sophomores. Hazel Clausen had a really good race at Spirit Lake. She's kind of banged up at Glenwood and came back and ran an awesome race. She ran a 24:45. It was in the JV meet. That would have been our fifth varsity runner if she'd been running varsity that day. So she's going to have an opportunity to keep competing for that spot. And was happy to see, because through the workouts, I just knew she looked really good and was ready to run a much faster time than she was able to do at Glenwood. I know she was really happy to go out and actually see that happen. And then Joy Luce is another freshman who was our top, pretty much consistently our top middle school runner last year. And she was able to improve quite a bit from her first race, ran a PR of 26:52. And she's going to be pushing for one of those back varsity spots too. And then I just want to really quick mention our middle school teams, because I thought they both did really well. Our top two girls runners, Grace Schoonover, Haley Owen, got 8th and 14th, and just ran really solid races. We've only been practicing for about a week and a half with them. I thought that was awesome. Then our boys team, Jaden, Tanner, Hayden, Luca, Owen, all had really good finishes. And the future with both those teams is really exciting, and I can't wait to see them run their next meet next Saturday at Holstein. Talking about that, Coach, what do you work on this week with both the boys and girls, and what do you do to get ready for Holstein on Saturday? We are going to take it easy this weekend, let everyone get a full recovery, probably even go easy Monday, and then we'll do a track workout on Tuesday, working on pacing, working on just increasing our race pace just a bit, a little higher volume at a little faster speeds. And that's, I think, especially with our younger runners, going to make them more comfortable once they get into the race. I know on the boys' side, Laysa Dean runs JV for us, and he cut about 2 minutes between Glenwood and Spirit Lake. He finished Spirit Lake, and the first thing he said to me is, he goes, "I'm getting my pace down, like I'm figuring it out." And so I think just getting with so many freshmen and sophomores, getting more of those workouts in to help them realize, like, hey, this is what it's going to feel like. I think that's going to allow us to take the next step. And even with our top guys, those are the workouts that are necessary to continue to see drops in times and place. Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all the time here today. Enjoy a weekend. Best of luck. We'll talk to you again next week. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. You as well. Head Coach Thomas Nelson again with the Kuemper Cross Country team. We'll be back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Playing sports is exciting and fun, especially when you have a great team to support you and be there with you every step of the way. That's just the same at your Mid-Iowa Insurance and Real Estate team. Hi, this is Mike Franey. You can be rest assured that we have you covered so you can keep running towards the goal line. So this fall, cheer on your favorite teams while being protected through your team. At Mid-Iowa Insurance and Real Estate, a proud supporter of all the area teams. Mid-Iowa Insurance and Real Estate, 792-4324. We're back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Let's talk Carroll girls swimming again as head coach Deb Danner is joining us. And Deb, you still haven't officially got the schedule part of the season underway. That'll come this Thursday as you guys are hosting Des Moines Lincoln. So we chatted last Saturday, kind of previewed the season a little bit. But what's the last week been like for the girls?
Yeah, so really been working the girls a little bit harder, and I guess they're getting used to things. They're a bunch of freshmen, so they don't really understand high school swimming yet. So they're starting to understand it. So they're doing good.
What have been some of the typical workouts maybe here in this last week?
Yeah, they're not really used to timed swims, and we do a lot of that in practice, timed swims. So, just getting used to that, watching the clock, knowing when to go has been a real big part of it. So, they're getting more familiar with it. These younger kids don't understand analog clocks all that well. So they're learning, they're used to their digital clocks, and and that's fine. But now they're going to learn how to use an analog, so it's going well.
Coach, how's the work on turns been going, or is that an area that you feel that they were already pretty good?
No, we've been working a lot of turns. We've been working starts, pretty much everything. They don't have the upperclassmen to help lead them, just show them things. So, we've really been focusing on just our technique, making sure we're doing our turns right, more as efficient as possible, doing our starts correct, and just working on all the little things to help get them through their races a little bit easier.
Of those areas you've been focusing on, where do you feel you've seen the most improvement?
Probably their turns. Yeah, their turns. They don't necessarily know how to do open turns and, for breaststroke and butterfly. So we've really been working on that a lot. Flip turns without using our arms. So, yeah, they've made a lot of improvements on their turns. Now we just got to keep practicing it.
So, Deb, does all of that work on turns and everything, does all that have to go in the pool, or is there ways you can work on the fundamental things outside of the pool with the girls?
No, you got to do it in the pool. There's no way of the word I'm looking for.
Replicating
that.
Yep.
Yes, replicating that outside of the water. It's how to spin in the water and things like that. You can't do any of that on dry land.
So I'm assuming then the reason why I asked that is it makes it a little longer to work on that because it's not something, unless they have a pool at home, that they can go and just do on their own.
Right, yeah, so that's just a strictly at practice kind of thing. There's not much they can do on their own at home or in a gym or anything like that. Swimming's a whole different kind of sport.
Yep.
We rely on learning how to balance in the water. It's just a little bit different. You got to be in a pool to practice swimming.
Coach, you said you've been working them a little harder this week. You got your first meet at home next Thursday with Des Moines Lincoln. What will the early part of next week like? Are you going to continue to push, or will things start to taper just a little bit to get them ready for Thursday?
No, we're just going to keep pushing. They just need to get comfortable with having to go fast and hard all the time. The tapers will come towards the end of the season, but right now we're just going to be pushing, even right up to the day before meet. We'll just keep pushing hard. What
are you looking at with the Des Moines Lincoln? Though they have a meet under their belt already, so that I'm sure that helps them a little bit. But what are you looking at with that team?
We're not real concerned about what other teams are doing. We're just looking at what our own kids can do, trying to get faster, trying to become more efficient in the water. It's with a small team, it's going to be hard to really push against another team. It's going to be kind of a challenging season.
Coach, have you figured out yet where the girls are going to be and what events you feel like you're going to have them competing in, or is that still a work in progress?
That's still a work in progress. We're still kind of figuring things out. I got my girl with the shoulder issues, so we're still trying to figure out what she's going to be able to do. And, Matey's still working on her stroke, so it's we don't know yet.
Well, Coach, we appreciate all of the time. Enjoy a weekend if you can. And we look forward to catching up with you next week and having a meet to talk about. So best of luck coming up next Thursday as well.
Great. Thank you.
You bet. Head coach Deb Danner again with the Carroll girls swim team, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Tune in each Monday morning and afternoon for the IKM Manning Minute. We'll be talking with the students about what they're doing and learning each week. The IKM Manning Minute is brought to you by Next Gen Ag Supply in Templeton.
We are back on this Saturday morning, wrapping up the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Of course, we do have some local sports going on for you today in volleyball action. You've got Audubon up at the South Central Calhoun tournament. That's a round-robin tournament getting underway early this morning here at 8:30. That one already underway. Arweva and Esac County, they're headed up to the Ridgeview tournament this morning. That one underway just a little bit ago as well. So again, I'll sit down, type up some recap stories for all four of our area teams, let you know either tonight or tomorrow as soon as I get all the results and the stats from all the coaches, and I'll get that up on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report at sports.1380kcim.com. Casey Miners and I also going to sit down, type up football recaps from last night's games. Those will be up on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report throughout the weekend as we get the results and stats, the stats especially from the coaches here. We'll get those up. Some of those stories may not be posted to tomorrow. I'm headed up to the volleyball tournament here shortly up in Rockwell City, so I'll be gone most of the day today as well. I do want to thank all of our coaches for coming in and joining us here today. Ryan Steinkamp, of course, with the Kuemper Knights football team. What a win for them last night. Again, if you hadn't heard, they blew out Underwood on the road 49-28. They moved to 1-1 on the season. Also want to thank Craig Rowedder from the Carroll Tankers. Tough loss for them last night, but Craig always really a good interview and enjoys chatting about his Tiger team. They played well. They led it at the halftime before falling 36-18. We talked with Riley Ludwig, of course, from the Carroll volleyball team. They went 5-1 at the Harlan tournament last week. Ended up falling the winner's set on a Tuesday night. They're back in action coming up on Thursday. They're 5-2 on the year. We talked to Rusty Wintermode. He's got the Kuemper volleyball team sitting at 11-0 right now. They're at number 6 in the latest Class 3A rankings, and they're playing very, very good volleyball. We also talked to Thomas Nelson from the Kuemper cross country team's boys, running pretty well. Dayton Wiederin's off to a terrific start for them. They ran last Saturday, of course, down at Glenwood. Then they were up at Spirit Lake on Thursday. They're off this week until Saturday when they head to Ridgeview. The girls have been running well. Casey Wiederin has been running really well. Pretty cool to see Dayton and Casey Wiederin, brother and sister. Dayton, the junior, Casey, the sophomore, right now been the top two runners for the cross-country teams. And we talked with Deb Danner as well. Carroll girls swim team's only got 5 or 6 girls this year. Very young team. They haven't had a meet yet. They'll have their first meet coming up later on this week. And I think Coach excited to work with this young group. They're probably, with those little numbers, not going to be able to win meets this year, but she's going to build them. They're going to have a really good year. They'll swim well as individuals in whatever relays they can get in, and then they'll be tough, at the end of the year. And with them all young next year, they've got some more swimmers coming into the program, so they'll be really, really good next year. Taking a quick look at that football schedule for you next week. We've got Carroll hosting Dennis and Schleswig. We'll have Casey Miners on the broadcast there. That'll be here on KCIM. Kuemper goes down to AHST Avoca Walnut. I'll have that broadcast with Doug Waniger again on Kick 106.7. The other games, ESAC hosting Missouri Valley, South Central Calhoun at Riverside, ICAM Manning going to Earlham, Arweva at Siouxland Christian. Audubon hosting Exire Elkhorn Kimballton, Coon Rapids Barrett at Collins Maxwell, and Glidden Ralston going to Colonesco are the other games next week. We'll figure out what our third game is. Got a couple of them we're looking at. We'll get that up on the website again at sports.1380kcim.com. That will be posted on Sunday night as part of our schedules page when I post all of the schedules for this upcoming week. Want to remind you again here that the player of the game banners from last night's football games, they're up on the CB Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Congrats to Colby Wallace from Glidden Ralston, Brock Bading from the Kuemper Knights, and Reese Zigman from the Carroll Tigers, all earning our Motor Inn Player of the Game last night. Audio broadcast from all 3 of our games last night, podcasted on the website. Go to the features drop-down menu, listen to past games is where you'll click on to get to those. We also have the video broadcast of the Carroll Gilbert game last night. That's available on the CB Sports Network YouTube channel. You can go back and rewatch that game from last night as well. Again, mentioned game recaps and scores and stats. up on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report at sports.1380kcim.com coming up later on throughout this weekend for today's volleyball and last night's football. And the New Way Ford scoreboard show from last night is podcasted to the website on the Podcast Center. The New Way Auto Group scoreboard page, which is a live updated page throughout the night on Friday nights, that's available on the website as well at sports.1380kcim.com. I'm going to wrap up this Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We thank Pizza Ranch, and we thank you. Have a great day, everybody.